Now I think we're moving along. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Abundant Living podcast, which we have every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. And I know that this is a holiday time, and for many in the United States, I wanted to do this podcast this evening because we've been having very intense events in the United States, very intense stuff happening. And I thought maybe we could all work with it a bit energetically, send light to those who have been very immediately affected. Possibly their soul is passing from this life to the next. Possibly they're injured and traumatized, or even if they weren't injured, they're probably traumatized if they were at one of these shootings or on one of the college campuses where these killings have happened, or they're in a conflict area, Ukraine, etc., or they're still underwater, as in Pakistan, or many, many situations around the world that we can send light to. Protesters, demonstrators in Iran, they have not been put off by the government there taking extreme measures to discourage them, shall we say. Yeah. So I want to just welcome everyone to this Abundant Living podcast this night before the holiday known as Thanksgiving in the United States and 2 days before Native American Heritage Day. We want to remember to balance, to certainly be thankful for everything we've received. It's lovely to have a day of thanks, and it's also important to remember the correct history. And we weren't really taught the correct history about Thanksgiving in schools. So we want to stay mindful of that, but mainly we just want to anchor light in one another's lives, in our own life and in this earth. So let's just take a few breaths just to get centered in the heart. And, this won't be a very long podcast. I know people are traveling. I know you've got stuff to do. For a lot of people, tomorrow's a big feast day where you've invited a lot of friends or family. I understand that. But I just thought if we could anchor some light in some of these rougher situations, that would be really a beautiful thing, a beautiful gift to ourselves, our communities, and our countries. So just take a few deep breaths, slow, breathing in slowly through the nose, with the mouth closed. And then when you're ready, you want to release through the open mouth, or maybe through pursed lips, like you were breathing through a straw or whistling. That is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful way to reduce stress. If you can just do even 5 or 6 of those breaths right now. Puts you in that parasympathetic nervous system state. Helps you go into the heart space. Image that you're in a huge heart. I always say that's easier than trying to put your view of the world, your eyes down in the heart space. Some people can do it. Some people find it difficult. So just, if you want, close your eyes, put your hand in your heart, concentrate purely on your breathing, whatever form of breathing you choose. And we're asking the mind to just quiet down. We're asking any and all entity and energy interferences that should not be in our bodies or in our homes or communities. We're telling them time to go into the light. You're done here. Go into the light. And you're just breathing very easily, breathing out very calmly. Image yourself filled with light right now, a beautiful pillar of light pouring down, filling every speck of your being. And we use this image a lot because the light coming in right now is highly sentient. It's very powerful. It's speaking to every cell, every particle of your being. It's helping you adjust how your brain works, how your heart works, how your inner life registers. It's helping to regulate that which is dysregulated, you might say. And it's also helping you move into a state where it's so much easier for you to connect with your higher self and your spirit team in general. And we want to say hello to everyone who's joining us right now. We just want to remember that we're here to hold light. We're not here to be perfect as far as always being in perfect shape, always having absolutely impressive finances and zero debt, absolutely an impressive career and just the nicest house, or always handling everything with humor and easygoing jocularity. Everything's just wonderful and easy. We're probably not here for that because it's very rare that people are able to achieve all that and have a sense of inner balance. Generally, they have one or the other. Now, you and I in this abundant living program, we're asking for all of the good. We are asking for all of the really wonderful gifts in life. We're asking nothing be withheld from us. But the difference between us and people who haven't quite moved into that space yet, they're coming along, but maybe they're not quite there yet, is that you and I are interested in evolving. We're interested in moving into the light. And we're interested, therefore, in anchoring the light so that others are also encouraged to move into it and see how beautiful it is. And asking only that which is for our higher good of all, come into each situation. So we're feeling the presence of this light right now. It's sentient, it's aware of us, we're aware of it. It's speaking on an energy level to every cell in our body, every bit of our heart mind, every bit of our spirit. And it's asking us just to move up a bit. It's asking us to come up a bit in vibration. And there are many ways to do that. Maybe you like listening to high vibrational music. Maybe you like being outside in nature, being with animals or children, meditating. Some people use tapping as a meditation. I think that's wonderful. Maybe just practicing silence. And every now and again, at least, speaking with your guides and higher self and saying, what is next for me? What do I need to know? Just getting quiet, in other words, having a time each day where you're just quiet. And that can be a lot to ask sometimes. If people have others to take care of, children, animals, and the job, of course, and all the ins and outs of everyday life. But any quiet time you're able to take for yourself, you are replenishing your spirit. So when you hear about violent events, when you hear about difficult moments and these dire reports, these dire forecasts about what's going to happen politically or economically or on, you just stay in your heart space and you don't panic. And you don't go into feelings of hopelessness. You don't burst into tears of horror for everyone affected by a difficult moment. Yes, you will probably feel sadness, but you remain somehow still centered. Now, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Think of emotion rising up that we don't associate with anything good, and yet we stay centered. And that's because that emotion can reach those dear ones who have been affected or their loved ones, particularly the loved ones of those lost, or those who have been arrested or who died, the shooters, in other words, in a mass shooting. We send them light, all of them, every single last one of them, not only those who are being called victims, but everyone affected and everyone involved, because we are all on a beautiful soul journey. So we're just absorbing that light right now. It's pouring in. Image light all around you. You can feel it. If you've got something to put around you, like a sweater or maybe some sort of a blanket or something. If you're not good at imaging, get the feeling of some warmth around you right now. Something comforting and something that sort of helps ground you. Which sounds funny. If you think of higher light coming in, you might think, well, then I'm connected to the higher realms and I'm thinking of being up there. But really, you're equally grounded to the earth. So see that beautiful pillar of sparkling light flowing all the way down through you and into the earth. So we're beautifully grounded with the earth as well. And then, of course, the light stretches up into the heavens, into the higher realms. And we're going to ask some very special angels, particularly the archangels, to step forward now, each to bless us in his or her own way. They each have particular gifts, and the energies being flowed to us and to all those that we've seen in distress, even those we don't know about, but who are in distress right now on this earth. That beautiful light is shifting them and us, all of us, into a higher vibration. So we begin to see things, even difficult things, from a much higher level. And those realizations may not happen right now, but just let that light flow to you. And it's sort of adjusting our thinking, adjusting our emotional life, adjusting how we see our loved ones, our health, our finances, our work or home, whatever it is that you've been distracted with lately in your own life. And it's also adjusting how we see the outer world and all the events happening. My impression, talking to the collective, is that there's a ton of good happening, but they're not going to announce that on the news, are they? No. The news is old paradigm. So just keep breathing in that light. And we're going to float up that beautiful pillar of divine light up into the higher realms. And we're going to work with some energies there. I'm going to bring in the collective, and they're going to assist us in shifting our vibration and our outlook to a much higher level, so that, say you're at a dinner tomorrow or the next day with family members, or traveling, and it could be a bit stressful. Right now, I was traveling in early October, late September, early October, and that was stressful enough, and it wasn't a holiday time. For a number of reasons. So we're just sending light to all these situations. But say you're in the situation tomorrow, the next day, where you're with family members that you feel like, oh, they're never going to accept me, or they're never going to understand me, or I can't believe what he just said, or I can't believe she's nitpicking or being critical about such a tiny thing. Why bring the spirit down? You know, that those moments when you're with family or friends and you can't quite believe what's going on. So take in a lot of light right now into your heart, dear ones. Just drink in that light and make that your deeply felt reality, your base point and your foundation. And then there'll be far fewer things to rattle you as you go through your day, even with the stress of holidays. They can be very beautiful, but they also carry stresses. And with Christmas coming up, there are a lot of people just wanting to get by. To think of buying a lot of gifts for their children is even beyond where they are right now. So let's just send a lot of light, a line of light from our heart right now. Think of someone who you feel really needs it. Might be someone you know, or a total stranger halfway around the world, something you saw on the news, somebody in your state or province or what have you, your county. Send a line of light from that person, from you to that person, straight from your heart to theirs. So let's do that right now. I'm going to breathe out. Breathing in light, breathing out light. I'm thinking of all the parents and family members who have lost a loved one over the past week or so, including those who are experiencing loss because it was their relative who was involved in the violence or causing it. These are desperately wounded people. And they so need love. Wonderful. Now, as you're doing that, dear ones, as you're seeing that light go out from your heart to this person or persons who are really having it rough, just see 1,000 lines of light leaving your heart right now and going out to 1,000 people. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. Maybe you've seen it on the news, maybe not. That's all right. Just pour that light out of your heart space, sending it to the people in Iran who are in these demonstrations and their loved ones, those who are in jail, those being mistreated badly, those in the Ukraine, of course, those in Iraq and Afghanistan where things are still very difficult. We think of the people in Europe who are wondering how they're going to keep their homes heated. Maybe they don't have homes. We think of those who are unhoused in the United States now that the weather has gone cold in most places, as well as those who are just reeling from all the violence of the past couple of weeks. We think of children afraid to go to school, all of it, lines of light from our heart. And the thing is, we're staying centered. We're staying in our heart space. Stay in your body. Don't go out. Don't push your energy out to them. Keep your life energy in your space. There's plenty of light and love to go around. You don't sacrifice yourself. That's the old paradigm, and it's over. You're just going to send them a lot of loving support. Now keep doing that. I'm going to bring the collective in, and they're going to carry on with this. And if you really feel like you can only really deal with your own situation right now, and you just can't think about all these other people in pain, that's all right. As you anchor light in your heart and you show yourself and others compassion, yourself and your loved ones, say, for instance, just a small circle, that's fine. As you're doing that, you're unconsciously spreading it around the world. Wonderful. So let's call in the collective. It'll just take me a moment. And we'll be in our breathing in light. Oh, well, greetings, dear ones. We are, as always, honored to be amongst you and to assist in all of this powerful light work that you are doing. And, you know, you hear this word light worker an awful lot, and you don't hear the word light work quite as much. This is energy work to not only amplify and magnify the beauty and the empowerment and the self-recognition of your own souls and higher self, but to spur that on in people around the world. And you're doing wonderfully. You're doing an absolutely beautiful job. Now, you may think, well, I don't always have time, you know, for meditation. I don't think I'm a very good light bearer. I don't think I'm always cheerful, and I'm not always smiling. I get impatient, you know, if a child or the cat or whatever is just acting up and being whiny, I just get impatient because I'm exhausted at the end of the day. And then the news comes on and it's horrible, and on and on. You've got all these responsibilities, and it's difficult, of course, some days to feel really empowered and at peace and flowing with life instead of bumping up against it. So, all right. This is why you go into your breathing, dear ones, because that whole action is so fundamental to returning to the heart space in a calm way. So let's bring in even more light down through the crown chakras, and that's flowing straight down through the third eye, throat chakra into the heart chakra, and then the lower three as well. Now let's connect the wisdom pouring in from the heart, from the crown chakra, and the inner knowing, the sight of the third eye, speaking the truth of the throat chakra. Let's connect all of that with the power of the heart. Let's move all of those energies and actions into the heart space. And as our writer was saying, image yourself right now in a big heart. If you can, put your eyes, your way of seeing the world down into that heart space, that high heart area. Go ahead and do that. If not, just put yourself in a big heart. And if you have trouble imaging, just hold that intention. Now, there's a lot in that heart. It may not feel terribly peaceful. There may be some feelings of unrest. There may be some anger, some shock, sadness, self-criticism. And what we're going to do is bring up right now the joyfulness that you felt as a baby, a toddler, whatever age you last felt most joyful. There we are. Wonderful. And connect that to your current state of being, removing obstacles between you and that joyfulness. And some of this is energy construct. It's come in via mental programming. Some of it is from low energetic transmissions that run throughout Earth life. Those are ending now, but they're still sort of there. And some of it is just purely the day-to-day movement practices, constant use of skills that the adult has to just get things done, to just move through the day. and manage it all somehow, maybe basically survive, maybe do a bit better than that. But you get caught up in doing things, whereas the child and the baby, they're perfectly in the present moment. So we're going to encourage them to come forward. Everyone listening, whether this is live or replay for you, just allow that little one to come up. And this is a being so full of light, we cannot even describe it to you. They are just so joyful and at the center of joy in this universe, and they know it, and they're thrilled. They're honored and they're thrilled, and yet they're so in the moment, they don't have these thoughts. They're just experiencing love for everyone. They trust that they're amongst people who love them. That may or may not be true, but that trust is there. Let's just flow that in from Divine Mother. Yes, wonderful, dear one. Namaste. Let's flow that in right now. All of the archangels are surrounding you. And as we're already in those beautiful upper echelons, those beautiful higher realms, let's just move into that circle of light right now. Let's all of us sort of join hands or link arms, whatever you prefer. If you wish, that's right, in a circle, beautiful circle of light. It's full of light, and all of us have added light to it. So you're probably standing next to an archangel and don't even realize it, or you may, or a wonderful ascended master. They will walk exactly to the side of anyone who calls them in, and they can multi-locate. So if each of you calls in Lady Master Portia, or each of you calls in White Buffalo Catwoman, or Kuan Yin, or Saint Germain, no worries, they'll be there. Now, if you wish to tell them something that's troubling you, now is an excellent time. And you can also put it right into that circle of light. We're just putting all the density of the past few weeks. Very divisive moments in the US with the elections and then all these events, which unfortunately mainly are orchestrated by the now defunct power structure, the powers that were. So we're putting all of them in that circle of light, as well as those who very unwittingly carry out their deeds for them. Yeah, and those who suffer from that. It might be a war, it might be a single violent event. Put everything there. The famine, the extreme weather, the stresses, whether economic or political, the divisiveness, yeah, all of it. Put all of it in there. All of it's in that circle of light. And also, dear ones, add to the circle of light whatever you are experiencing that's extremely difficult for you right now, things you don't understand, things you feel are too weighty, too heavy to carry. That's all right. Go ahead and just put all that in that circle of light. All of us are pouring light into it, and that light is pure love. Now hold a clear intention. Perhaps you want to see peace in your world. Perhaps you want to see joy. You want to see safety for all. You want to see Nasara enacted. You want an end to all war. You want all guns and bombs and other forms of armaments to be rendered entirely silent and useless. You want everyone to have a safe place to live, a warm place in winter, plenty of food, all the medical care they could possibly need. And you want these healing technologies that have been suppressed to be released to the public, tens of thousands of them. Wonderful. Some of you were asking for full disclosure of the ET presence. Wonderful. A healing of children's spirits and psyche. Wonderful. Yeah. A safe place for children, an end to trafficking. Absolutely. Making this a safe planet for children. Animals are cleansing the environment. Wonderful. Some of you are just putting financial stresses in that circle of light. Health issues. Issues with the family. All right. Wonderful. Doesn't need to be what people call a big issue or a small one. Anything is fine. We're sending a lot of light to what has become an issue of growing passivity in the quote-unquote developed nations because there's so much time spent looking at screens. And this is not helpful. This is not at all helpful to anyone. Anytime you can move away from screens, from the radio blaring in the car, time away from the phone, the television, the internet, whatever it is. This is time in which you become more active rather than passive in your life. Putting every world leader and all those who influence them, all the major corporations and industries, the entire banking industry, all of the governments, everything into that circle of light. And the fact that so many are traveling, that send light to the airline, bus, train, and highways industries. Wonderful. Whatever you consider to be important right now. Now we're going to ask the higher selves for some input about what it would most benefit those listening, whether live or a replay. What issues would most benefit all of you if we were to bring that up? All right, wonderful. So what they're saying is that people are feeling that life is so uncertain that they are wondering, is anybody there? Are we getting the support we need from the higher realms, from our Star Nation families, from, from our twin flames? Are we getting the loving support and the awareness of what we're going through? In other words, people are feeling really quite isolated and a bit abandoned at times. And they're wondering, is the strength I have, is that going to be enough for whatever other bumps in the road are going to come up? Whether it's financial or health or political or social issues or extreme weather, etc. And they're just wondering, am I safe? Are my loved ones safe? Is my country going to be okay? And so let's put all of that in the circle of light right now. And let's bring in a special, beautiful emerald green healing light to lift hearts, to lift spirits and mental outlooks, perspectives. And just feel that lifting up a bit. If you can't feel it or image it, that's all right. Raise your hands up as a symbol of your vibration moving up. While part of you that's been on alert, been alarmed, been wondering what next, will we be okay in future? That part is just sort of breathing out, relaxing, letting go, refusing to be up in the mind where everything has to be under constant control, or else, well, we might be lost, we might be in a terrible issue. The mind will concoct all of these what ifs. Let's just work with that for a moment. Just bring up any stresses, any feelings of, I don't know, am I strong enough for this? I don't feel like I'm very empowered on this issue. This is tough. I don't know that I have answers here. All right, bring all that up. Presenting the mind thoughts, in other words. A constant back and forth. Bring all that up. Very good. Stress is about, might be your finances, might be the whole country, whichever your country is. Just bring that up. Yeah. Is there enough food? Will there be shortages, etc.? Yeah. Supply chain, etc. All right, good. Bring that up. All of it. All right, wonderful. There it is. There it is. Putting all that in the circle of light, bringing in a huge ray of light to shift that in vibration. And then let's move the whole thing, all that density. Just breathe now, let go of those feelings. And we're shifting all of that density like a big dark gray cloud, moving that into the beautiful, cool violet transmuting flame of Saint Germain. So the whole circle of light now, dear ones, is the violet flame. Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. And you're seeing that dense gray cloud turn into pure sparkling light. You can do this every day. You can put yourself in that lovely, cool violet flame. It won't burn you. Your soul is itself a flame. It's a beautiful, cool blue flame. So just go ahead and put yourself in it and put everyone here and this whole huge circle of light in one big transmuting violet flame. And everything that we have put into that circle is moving up to a higher level. Now, what's interesting that we can see is that is the earth herself who's experiencing that up-leveling of vibration. As we are imaging that, it is happening. It's not just a vision, it's energetic movement. And we're bringing in a special light now as well. Beautiful, brilliant, sparkling diamond light going straight into everyone's heart. And that's going to remind you of what your Earth mission is. So that will come more up to the surface. You're already doing it. You're already planting a ton of light, a beautiful amount of light straight into the earth and straight into human consciousness. You're already healing and connecting people interculturally and intergalactically, and healing the earth, healing animals, trees, plants, the air, the water. You're already doing so much. Awakening the old sacred sites, awakening and invigorating the crystalline grid, so that that light, that beautiful sentience, is pouring into people's consciousness. And you're also, there's so many different kinds of Earth missions. It's too many to mention, but we've seen some astounding ones in channeling sessions. And many of you are in the pyramids, which are all in every continent. And you're there in your sleep state, in the etheric, and you're adjusting some of the technologies there, the ancient and pre-ancient technologies, so that they are once again active, sending out powerful transmissions that to the ET family members, the star nations who are all over this earth and all surrounding it, and billions of ships, letting them know we are again a spaceport, we are again intergalactic and intercultural on this planet, and that in turn awakens humanity. So it's not like you're just planning light so people feel better. That is wonderful, but each of you has a beautiful specific mission. And this diamond light we're bringing in right now, straight down through the crown chakra, straight into the heart space, is going to help you remember and fill you with a sense of joy and a sense of purpose. I am here for astoundingly beautiful reasons. And these are very sophisticated missions you're all on. Again, it's nice to say, oh, I'm just anchoring light. That's beautifully important. But you're all doing very specific things, and some of them highly technical. And they take advanced forms of intelligence and advanced soul mastery in order to enact them. So you're doing a lot. Let's just say you're very powerful. And so we are wanting to bring in the sense of that empowerment and to sort of knock on the door and remind you, this is who you are. Not this small person feeling alone, isolated, unsure of life, facing all of these difficult moments and these stresses where it's so much bigger, that you're so much more powerful, dear ones. That's the little you that 3D created. You thought maybe that'd be interesting, an interesting experiment, but it's not enough to house the power of your higher self and your soul. So, all right, you're evolving, you're ascending. Wonderful. So this beautiful diamond light activation coming straight down into the heart right now is also showing you your life work, if you haven't found that yet, connecting you powerfully to your twin flame and your soul families, connecting you powerfully to the earth herself, who is a beautiful sentient being, as you know. Wonderful. Helping you to ground more fully and helping you to know that you are a representative of the higher realms. You are the essence of the higher realms itself and in human form. And if you think that doesn't intimidate the old power crowd, yes, indeed, it intimidates plenty. And they've done what they could to dim your light, but they haven't been successful. So, all right, dear ones, you're thinking probably in terms of, what about all these people who are in pain? And let's bring in that rose ray light associated with Mary, the mother of Yeshua. And bring that in. We've got all those people now who are in terrible pain, whether they enacted the violence or they were, as the news will say, victimized by it. We know there are no victims. And their loved ones who have lost maybe a son or daughter, maybe a partner or a spouse or what have you, a friend, a brother, sister. They are in intense suffering. Yeah. All right, dear ones. So we brought them in and we put them into that rose ray. We're not going to require that they heal overnight. We're not going to require they not feel anything and not mourn. We're not going to require that they skip all the painful parts and just wake up smiling because their loved one is in the higher realms and everything is perfect. Of course, we allow them their path. Of course, we allow them the depth of their suffering if that is what they have to go through. Now, what we are asking is for their higher selves to temper that with as much healing and support and love and caring as possible. For those, for instance, who were in the nightclub in Colorado Springs when the shooter came in, and 5 people lost that night, unfortunately, into the physical, and others wounded. And those who were there, even though maybe they weren't physically harmed, they're utterly terrorized. They're in trauma, utterly. So let's just fill them with light and see them connecting a line of light from their heart to those counselors, those energy workers who will be perfect for them. And we're going to ask their higher selves and the higher selves of all else here who have been through so much. This includes the demonstrators in Iran, families, individuals in Ukraine, everyone in a war-torn area everywhere, suffering from extreme weather, and attacks on the indigenous in South America continue, likewise in North America, unfortunately. So from the old authority figures. So let's just put all of that in the light. And we're going to just send a particular form of light that reminds these lovely people of the power of their own souls. And it reminds them that they can go nowhere in this universe where they will be separate, separate from the love of God, Goddess. There's nowhere they can go. There's nowhere that you could go, or anyone. That you would be separate from that love. Certainly the psalmist David, King David, wrote of that. And even if he, as he said, if I make my bed in hell, that you are there. We're holding them in that rose ray. And we're drawing in special angels to assist each and every one. Those who have passed or are in the process of passing, we are sending you light, dear ones. We're pulling a lot of light down from those higher realms. Just look up into the light and know you're home. That's right. There we are. It's all right. Your loved ones will be all right. Just go ahead. The higher realms are your home. That's right. That's your home. Look at these beautiful angels. Loved ones, come forward, please. All right. You hear this beautiful music. It's time to go home, dear ones. Absolutely. It's time to go home. Some of you who have been clinging to earth life, living in other people's energies, wandering, whatever it is, you've been in denial about the fact that your body died. It's time to go home. Yeah. Your work here is done. It's time to go home. Go into the light now. That's right. That's right. Wonderful. If you can all imagine these dear ones moving into the light really joyfully and being able to let go of their earth attachments, because what happens when people die sometimes, they really hesitate because they don't want to leave their loved ones and they don't want their loved ones to be sad. So if you can image them just concentrating on the beauty of these angels, of these loved ones who are already passed or already in the higher realms, coming to greet them joyfully, maybe pets they've had in various lives or a horse that they rode whom they loved, see them dashing forward, welcoming them, being so joyful, the dogs' tails wagging and the family members so joyful, and everyone welcoming them in, and they go willingly into the light. The more you can do that, as you are assisting others to move on, you're also freeing yourself, dear ones, of those entities who sit in nearly every human on the planet. They move into someone's body because they didn't want to go into the light, or they didn't realize they had died. They refused to accept it. They were afraid of God judging them, whatever the reason. So the more you pull that light down from the higher realms, the more you call that light, and light is sentient, you can call it in. and call in the loved ones of those sitting in your or anyone else's energies. Sometimes you'll see people behave in a way that's just uncharacteristic. That can be an indication that an entity is really taken over in that moment. And you can just call in their loved ones, call in the angels, and let these entities know it's time for you to go home. If you just look up into that light, you'll start to remember. Yeah. And again, there's much at spiritualacceleration.com, as well as the channeling sessions that we do that can assist with this sort of clearing. So we do a number of things in addition to the clearing and spiritual acceleration. That's their main mission. That's what they do. So, all right, dear ones, we're absolutely thrilled to have been with you this evening, and we invite you to remain in that circle of light and in the higher realms if you would like. If you're ready to come back down that pillar of light, come back down from the higher realms, fully into your body, fully back into your earth life and into the room. When you're ready, go ahead and do that. You want to fully embody and be completely present. That's one way to keep intruders out, whether energies or entities that shouldn't be there, and really claim your body and just say, this is mine, this is my life, nobody else allowed to come in here but me. And be aware. We know a lot of people will fall asleep with the television on. Please don't do that. In fact, not only turn it off, if you can, unplug it when it's not in use, because they're used to transmit lower energies and mental programmings. Again, not as strong as it used to be, but there's some desperate action on the part of the old crowd at the moment. So use the tools, the spiritual tools available to you, whether it's the tapping, meditating, time in nature. Do what you can for yourselves, dear ones. Drink a ton of pure water every day. Just let that be your main sustenance, along with this light pouring in. You've got to look after yourselves. Rather than being self-critical, we're just going to say, please be kind. Please be kind and understand that you came in with a very big mission. And doubtless your loved ones in the higher realms warned you a bit and said, this is a very tall order. It's already going to be one of the most challenging times on the planet, if not the most challenging time. Do you have to do all this? Do you have to clear up and heal all of these issues that you suffered in other lives? Do you have to go in and help so many people? And no one could dissuade you, basically, which is it carries its own beauty, its own light. And we're honored to be amongst you. Just going to quickly ask the spirit teams one more time. All right, so they're pointing out quite beautifully, yes, you are allowed to be joyful. Even though some people are suffering in the world, you are still allowed to be joyful, whether you're seeing friends or family or spending a quiet time at home over the next few days or getting ready for Christmas or Hanukkah or New Year's or Kwanzaa, whatever it is, the solstice, whatever it is that you celebrate. Absolutely perfect time. Absolutely perfect time to just allow yourself to be joyful and not to carry the world. When the difficult things happen, put it in that violet flame of Saint Germain, put it in the circle of light. If you want to give it to us, that's fine. Give it to your higher self. Don't walk around carrying it as a great big burden in your heart space. Sit down and just allow the breathing, allow the quiet for a moment, or go out and take a walk in nature and get away from these screens and all these loud blaring announcements of the cacophony of life on the planet right now. You're going to have to take good care of yourselves, dear ones. All right? So we send much love, profound respect, profound love, and huge blessings. There's no one in the cosmos like you. You're all so astounding. Wonderful. So we'll bring our writer back now. Namaste. Thanks so much, everyone. That's always me getting emotional as they're talking because they're always pouring so much love through my heart space. But thank you so much for being here. We said hello, I think, to Darlene and Patricia. I don't know if you guys heard me. Gabrielle, wonderful. Sheila, Darlene, Harry, Dawn, wonderful. Oh, thankful. I'm very thankful for you as well, Dawn. Thank you, Harry. Happy holiday blessings to everyone. Mikkel from Denmark, wonderful. Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. He's followed the collector's work for a while. I just send so much love. It is in some ways a trying time, and yet we're going to start seeing miracles. I feel like next year and the year after that, we're just going to see some astounding changes. And I'm seeing small forms, what people call soft disclosure, about so many issues right now, about what's really going on this planet, things that you would never hear the media talk about. And so thank you, Deborah. Namaste, Harry. Thank you, Ken. Wonderful. So I send a lot of love, dear ones. And if you are in the Abundant Living program, this will be posted in your members portal. And if you're listening to it in replay, it's energy embedded. All the energies are there. The collective work outside of time and space. So you're there, believe me. You haven't missed the import and the real power, the real strength of these podcasts. So much love to everyone. Honored to be here. Many blessings. Have a safe and joyful holiday time. And let's remember, it's Native American Heritage Month, and Friday is Native American Heritage Day in the US. And so we send all our love to our Native friends as well. Honored that your wisdom and your history is still here and that you will share it with us. Many blessings. Good night.